Hi, it's Linda with CreativePLR.com. And today, because we're talking about using coloring pages, I thought I would address the problem, and I know this is not going to happen to me. What if you ran out of coloring pages? What would you do? Would you be at a total loss? Would you be desperate to find more? And so I know everybody knows about Repr already, but I thought this is the perfect time to include it. And so Repr, it's repr.app. And I'm looking at pricing because times have changed. When I first started using Repr, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, they had a hobby subscription, and it was $4.99 a month. And it was $4.99 a month whether you paid monthly or annually. And I am sure that the hobby plan went away because with the hobby plan, you are not supposed to sell or use any of those designs that you made on Repr using the hobby plan in products that you sold commercially. And I know that maybe I'm probably guilty of it. I probably did it without thinking. I'm sure other people did. So that went away. And now you can either use the $12.99 per month, try it to see if you're going to like it, or I pay for the annual, and it works out to be $9.99 a month. And every once in a while I think, like, I'm not using it. I should just cancel it. Okay. But once you pay up front, you don't get any money back. And after I go for a few months without using it, what happens is I haven't used Repr in a long time, and I'm like, yeah, I should cancel it. I don't use it anymore. And then I start doing something with it. So Repr actually is a kaleidoscope type program with different types of, if you're into math, which I am, there's different types of polygons or shapes that you're going to use to create a design. Okay. So, for instance, Arabesque uses this, looks like a quadrilateral, a four-sided shape, but it's not an even shape. And they all make different designs. Now, this is actually pretty, and I do use it for colored pictures a lot. Like this image has, purple, blue, green, yellow, and orange in it. And so you could have a lot of variation, just going between the colors and moving it around. And if you're like, I don't know how good I am at moving this around, you can click this a little bit and it's going to change it, and you can stop it and say, well, I like that one, and then you can go over and you can export it. Now, when I'm doing colored papers, because I use those for digital planners, covers, and even printable planners and covers, and maybe border pages as well, or even stickers. That works great for stickers. I always use 12 by 12, so that gives me some flexibility on moving the image around till I get it, just the right place. And if you're going to use it, if you're only going to use it for like letter sized or A4, you can change the sizing on this. And I guess letter size is 8.5 times 11. And you can do that, and it saves a little bit in your hard drive. If you're only saving 8.5, you're only going to use 8.5 by 11, then don't make a 12 and 12-inch paper because it just takes up a lot of space. I save everything as a PNG. I'm not quite sure. I sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do with the papers, and if I make a 12-inch paper and I save it as a PNG, I know that I can scale it up or down however I want, and I'm going to still have a clear picture. JPEG, I'm never quite sure. And JPEG, it has clarity, especially if I'm saving it as a 12-inch page. But I might want to do something different with it than just use it as a background. And so I might want to make stickers, and I might want to do other things. And so I like the versatility of having a PNG file. And if you see most people that sell graphics do sell them in PNG, and they do that for a reason. So I did start using this for colored paper. Okay. Because in my teaching products, I needed like a lot of different backgrounds, slides. Well, that's a really pretty one. See how the blue and the green kind of blend together? And so you would go over and you would export this, and I'm going to save this as a 12 by 12 because I just fell madly in love with this paper. And I always put a number on mine instead of a fancy name, or letting it just say, it'll default to, let's see, I forgot what the pattern is. It will default to Arabesque and 12 by 12 or a pixel size, and that takes up too much room in my file. And if you save more than one design with the same thing, it'll start saying you've already got this file and overlapping them. So I just save them numerically. But coloring pages. So the nice thing about this is once you have a coloring page, like I made this coloring page from this coloring page. And so now I could take this coloring page or any coloring page that you might have, and you can start moving this around. And the smaller your little shape is, the more detail you get. So I like that. So I might want to export that. And then I've got a new coloring page. And so you could just create as many different types of coloring pages as you want. Octagon. Let's see, where is the shape? There it is. It would help it if they didn't make it white. It would also help it if I get my eye surgery. And you could just do that, or you could go back up here and let it kind of like roam around. If you're using this for coloring page, you want more lighter areas that can be colored rather than darker areas. One of my favorite patterns is the Diamond Penrose, and it doesn't even look like it has a pattern to it, but I assure you it does. And go in the middle, and this would probably be a little too dark. Oh, that's not bad. And so it looks random, but if you can see, there is a pattern. Big one, smaller, small. Big, smaller, very small. So different sizes. And I like that because it looks random, and when I'm filling, I like to use the coloring pages to fill different things with. And so when I'm filling them, you get more of an overall pattern rather than it looks like it came from a mandala, and you know what that looks like. There's a center design and it spreads out, and that's what a lot of them look like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes I just like to change it up and have a different design. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful, and if you're inclined to use Repr, you can go for it. I don't think they have a trial. I don't really know that, but you can check it out. It's repr.app, and you can start playing with this. And one of the other things, the tools I like is the effects, and so you can do that as well. And you notice it gives it a whole different effect. Now, I don't necessarily like the effect that it has for coloring pages, but you can see that it does change it quite a bit. It gives it a big and small pattern. It gives some darker and some lighter areas. And so if you're using these for fill, that might be fun as well. Okay, so have a great day. Hope this was fun and helpful.